Interesting news from last week. One day after a Florida congressional primary election, a Democrat candidate's daughter pled guilty to having received $300,000 in COVID relief loans by submitting fraudulent information. The November 3rd press release from the Department of Justice with the title Past President of Broward County Democratic Black Caucus Guilty of Defrauding COVID Relief Program. In the press release, they explain how Florida resident Damara Holness applied for a $300,000 forgivable federally guaranteed Paycheck Protection Program loan on behalf of her company using fraudulent payroll tax forms, which claimed that her company employed 18 people and spent an average of $120,000 each month on payroll, when in fact her company had 0 employees and no payroll expenses. Another recent article from the Miami Herald with more info. The headline, Daughter of Broward Congressional Candidate Pleads Guilty to COVID Relief Fraud. This article opens saying one day after her father appeared to be winning a Democrat primary race for Congress, Broward County political consultant Damara Holness pleaded guilty Wednesday to stealing $300,000 from a federal government program designed to aid small businesses. Holness is the 28-year-old daughter of Broward Commissioner Dale Holness, who was narrowly leading the Democrat field to fill the late U.S. Congressman Alcee Hastings' vacant seat after Tuesday's special primary. Now, days after the election, the race with Dale Holness is still in recount. There's another recent update. They say on Friday, Holness opted to get personally involved. Holness showed up to the Broward Supervisor of Elections office in Lauderhill and opted to personally question rejected ballots instead of relying on his attorneys. They go on to explain that there were 23 mail-in ballots rejected for having someone other than the registered voter sign the ballot, 18 for having no signature, 8 for having a signature different than that on file, 5 for changing address to somewhere outside of the district, 3 rejected because the voter is deceased, 5 voters who left the Democrat Party, all becoming non-party affiliated voters, 2 voters who moved outside of the county and district, and 1 person with a felony conviction. The article explains that Holness was angry about some of these rejected ballots. They say Holness questioned several ballots that were flagged for having a different signature than that on file with the Supervisor of Elections office in the state of Florida. A quote says, "Clearly, people sign differently at different times, and you saw that in these signatures." Alcee Hastings was, of course, a prominent establishment Democrat who campaigned for Hillary Clinton. In terms of picking a replacement, this is an important race for Democrats. As of now, it's being reported that the winner of Hastings' seat may not be known until November 12th. Back to the Miami Herald for more info following this guilty plea from this Florida congressional candidate's daughter for stealing $300,000 from a federal government program. They say Damara Holness was charged with 1 count of conspiring to commit wire fraud in August. As part of her guilty plea to that charge, she admitted lying about the financial needs of her plantation consulting business to qualify for a federal Paycheck Protection Program loan guaranteed by the Small Business Administration as part of Congress's massive pandemic relief package. Holness, who has been free on bond since her arrest, faces up to 20 years in prison for her fraud conviction at a January 20th sentencing, but given the amount of money she stole from the government, Holness is likely to receive a prison term between 3 and 4 years under federal sentencing guidelines. More from this same article, they say Holness is represented by defense attorney Sue Ann Robinson, who after her client's arrest described her as a single mother who, quote, despite having a high-profile parent, has had to chart her own path personally and professionally. After she was arrested, her father distanced himself from his daughter's troubles with the law. Dale Holness, who served as Broward's mayor last year and ran against 10 others in the Democrat special primary last Tuesday, said in a text message after her arrest that he and his daughter, quote, have been estranged for many years. She has made it clear to me on multiple occasions that she is an adult and as such has conducted her own affairs, Holness wrote in the text message to the Miami Herald. I have no details as to how she conducted her business or what she did with her business. If she has done wrong, I hope she learns from this and uses it as a lesson as to how to better conduct herself in life, he wrote. Yet, Florida public records show Damara Holness ran her political consulting business in the same office as her father's real estate business, All Broward Realty, at 4325 West Sunrise Boulevard in Plantation. Asked about the same address for both businesses, Dale Holness told the Herald, quote, "She never conducted any business in my office, nor did she have keys to my office." They go on to describe this fraud in more detail, saying last year when Damara Holness was serving as president of the Broward County Democratic Black Caucus, she applied for a $300,000 loan for her company, Holness Consulting Incorporated, according to a criminal information filed in Fort Lauderdale federal court. To justify her company's request, Holness claimed in the loan application that her company employed 18 people and spent an average of $120,000 a month on payroll, the information says. In fact, according to federal prosecutor Jeffrey Kaplan, she had 0 employees and no payroll expenses. She was accused of using fraudulent payroll tax forms to support her loan request. A bank in Georgia, which reviewed her company's application, approved the loan and wired the $300,000 to the political consultant's account in South Florida. Once the money hit the bank account in July 2020, Holness spent the next few months creating a paper trail to make it appear as if Holness Consulting had employees and was spending PPP money on legitimate approved expenses, Kaplan alleges in the information. Holness then issued checks from her company's bank account made out to other people who agreed to endorse and return them to the political consultant, the information says. She cashed the checks, paid a few $100s to each of the check endorsers, and then kept the rest of the cash for herself, about $1,000 per check, the FBI agents uncovered during their investigation. Please leave a comment and tell me what you think about this latest update. If you could give this video a thumbs up, remember to click the like button, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. As usual, thank you very much everyone who has been supporting this channel with your donations over at Patreon or PayPal, and with your super chats as well. And once again, with all the censorship happening here at YouTube, I'll just remind everyone it might be a good idea to find me over on some alternative platforms as well. You can find me over at Odyssey.com and superu.net. That's super, the letter u.net. They've recently added a tip feature at SuperU if you want to support the channel through there as well. I will follow up soon. Thanks again.